On July 22, 2006, a 53-year-old homeless woman was found gagged, half-naked, bruised, and battered and lying in a pool of her own blood near the Davis Center off De La Vina Street in Santa Barbara. She suffered more than 24 severe injuries, including a broken nose, several ribs, and a punctured lung, and a beating that lasted for hours on end.
I had never seen a human body so badly beaten and bruised, and I couldn't imagine how anybody could have lived through a beating like that. And my reaction was sheer horror.
Victim Laurel Riley was beaten into a coma, all because of the denial of sex, and after emerging a couple days later, she did not remember anything about the savage beating. Witness accounts during the initial investigation turned up no hard evidence to link anyone to the crime, so the trail went dead for more than a year until one day Stephanie Mendoza called police saying she feared her brother had hurt a homeless woman.
He kept on bragging about it and saying, yeah, the cops already took me in and they didn't find nothing, and he was getting away with it.
She described pieces of what her brother told her, and all of us thought, oh my God, he must be the man that tortured the woman a year ago.
Mendoza's brother, Samuel Martinez, had a violent past and had been previously convicted of domestic abuse and assault and battery, something Mendoza was well aware of and prompted her to act.
I know that he would have gone out again and did it again, but I would feel guilty because I didn't help out to put him away or stop it.
But with action came with it the potential for violent backlash. Investigators convinced Mendoza to wear a wire in an effort to get Martinez to confess, but despite being her brother, the history of violence made Mendoza understandably nervous.
She was afraid that he would be violent, and she wanted to know how long it would take law enforcement to get to her. She was wearing a wire if all of a sudden he pulled out a knife or a gun. And they thought about it, and they said it would take them about 17 seconds. And she said, not soon enough.
Now, despite the fears, Mendoza did agree to wear the wire and met her brother along the waterfront. And while Martinez did apparently say some incriminating things, there was a problem. The sound of the wind and the ocean made his alleged confession impossible to decipher. So with no other options, investigators were forced to ask Mendoza to summon her courage once again.
All we could ask was for her to come back and wear the wire again. And she did it. She came back down and she wore the wire again. And this time he not only made admissions, but he took her to the crime scene and described and showed what it was that he did.
Martinez was arrested in August of 2007 and went on trial for torture, assault with intent to commit great bodily injury, and personally inflicting great bodily injury in June of this year. But when it was time for Stephanie Mendoza to take the stand, she was faced with yet another dilemma, being ousted by her family, but again sided with her conscience and says there is zero regret.
They stopped talking to me. They stopped talking to me. There's no association. It's completely, I'm literally free from any kind of problems or stress from that family at all.
Martinez was convicted and sentenced to 14 years to life in prison, and it was Mendoza that made the conviction possible. She was recently given a Heroes Award from California Attorney General Kamala Harris for her courageous actions. She says despite the difficult ordeal and alienation from family, her conscience is clear, and in the end, the truth prevails no matter the situation.
Whether it's a family member or not, you still need to come up. We are all victims until you step up and tell the truth.